This week, we're back in a 2025 Lexus UX 300H. We drove one of these about a year ago, except it was the 2024 250H. For 2025, Lexus has updated this with Toyota's 5th generation hybrid system, shared with the Corolla and the Prius. It gets a little bit extra horsepower, now makes 196 horsepower. It's still front-wheel drive and still the same UX that we really enjoy driving. From here forward, it's kind of all the Lexus you need. From here back, the packaging's a little bit tight, but still usable. Makes for a nice commuter. We've averaged well over 40 miles to the gallon in it this week, driving around normally, filming videos, etc. That average has gone down to 40.4 mpg with lots of full throttle runs, which is still very impressive for our weekly mileage. This front-wheel drive UX 300H is rated at 45 city, 41 highway, a slight bump in fuel economy from the previous year with the 4th generation hybrid system. Let's hop outside, walk you guys around this, talk about what it's been like to live with this week, and we'll give you guys some street driving impressions on this cold, frigid Sunday morning. This is painted in copper Crest. Nice looking color from Lexus. The 300H doesn't really see any changes on the outside. It's mostly just powertrain updates. There we go. You guys have seen these before. Kind of a strange looking thing, but it's got some neat styling elements. This is my driving position at 5'10", and it's a little bit cramped back here, but still usable. Definitely tighter than a lot of other vehicles in the class. I still have a little bit of headroom. The C-pillar intrudes a little bit on my seating position back here, but we have rear climate vents, a couple of USB-C ports, and just a really nice looking interior. Everything's covered in leather. This is the F-Sport handling package, so it's got the adaptive dampers. Personally, this is kind of expensive for what it is. It's about $48,000. I would just go ahead and swing for a mid-grade UX for the low to mid-40s, and that would serve you great. You don't need the extra space. Its compact proportions are actually quite nice. Really high load floor here. No spare tire or anything, but there's a little more space down below there. It's the time of year where we're starting to get our window scrapers back. Your fuel cap. I wonder if this takes premium. It probably doesn't. Yeah, doesn't require premium. Very nice. I mean, this is basically just a fancier Prius. I found this 2-liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder to be a lot quieter around town, not as droney, doesn't need as much, there's many revs to get going. Last time I drove, actually the first time I drove one of these cars, I got a ticket for accelerating through an intersection during a yellow light. The cop thought I ran a red, but it was very, very yellow. And the reason he pulled me over is because the engine was making so much noise going from 25 to 30 miles an hour. That's not the case anymore with the UX. Kind of a strange situation, but yeah, it was actually one of the slowest cars we tested, but this is much better with the extra horsepower and torque bump. Down here, we now get this little Prius-style shifter, which is over and to the left to go into drive or reverse, or pull back into sport mode, push the P button to put it to park. Really nice ergonomics, physical controls for everything, no silly steering wheel buttons. I'm glad Lexus left that at the RX and hasn't really done it in much else since, except for, I guess, the new Lexus Texas, the TX, which is kind of a shame, but that's okay. We've got ASC over here, which turns on, isn't that the noise thing? I can't remember. We'll test it out, see what it does. 3-seat memory settings, auto up-down windows on all 4 corners, physical climate control buttons, and then an infotainment screen that is mostly used for CarPlay or Android Auto that connects wirelessly, which is nice. There's a few settings in here. You can see your fuel economy, info, music, phone, nav, all that stuff, but I mostly just use it for CarPlay. So we'll just do that. Here's what your reverse camera looks like. No 360 camera, unfortunately. We have a new digital gauge cluster, which is fine. It's clear, it's easy to read, it's a little bit brighter than we've seen from some other digital gauge clusters from Toyota products and Lexus products recently. But they got rid of those really cool, like sliding physical digital F-Sport gauges from before. Kind of a shame just to see a regular old digital gauge cluster when their old gauge cluster was so unique and special. To drive, this is a really nice car to spend time behind the wheel. It's comfortable, these seats are fantastic. We've got a heated steering wheel, heated seats, ventilated seats, one of 3 settings for the seats and 2 settings for the wheel. Nice auto climate control systems, pretty good visibility forward and all around, honestly. Ride quality is nice, NVH is quite good here. This feels like a very premium, compact sport utility vehicle. It's really just a hatchback, maybe a slightly lifted hatchback. Its tiny proportions, I guess, are nice in the city and around town. It's still not the fastest thing on the road, but it gets around just fine. 196 horsepower. In my mind, it just works very well as an upscale Prius. If you want a more luxurious driving experience, but you still want to get over 40 miles to the gallon, this is rated at about 43 combined, I don't think you'd have any issue doing that. Sometimes we struggle to achieve close to EPA numbers in Toyota Lexus hybrids, especially in colder weather. It's been in the 30s, 40s all week, and this has gotten exceptionally good fuel economy for us on our drive routes this week. So props to Lexus for implementing this 5th generation hybrid system in the UX. It's a welcome addition and a welcome change. All right, we've got some drive modes here. Put it into Sport Plus. The adaptive dampers will stiffen up. Throttle response will increase. We get a little rev counter. There's ASC making some ridiculous noises. Going to sport mode here. I don't know why it's denying downshifts with a CVT, but that's okay. We've got some piped-in engine noise there, which is really actually hilarious in a car like this. Listen to this. What is that? Luckily, you can turn it all off right there. Alright, that's enough of that. Back into eco mode. Luckily, you can quickly change drive modes with your little Shrek ears right here on the dash. Getting a little bit of wind noise from the sunroof. Yeah, closing that gets rid of it. Yeah, just a little bit of wind noise. But again, closing this shade eliminates that completely. Got a touch activated light there that accidentally turned on. But at highway speeds, otherwise, it's pretty quiet, pretty comfortable. Adaptive cruise control works well. Lane centering, same deal. Brakes are very well calibrated. Lexus and Toyota finally figured out how to tune their hybrid braking systems, and they've done a very good job at it here in the Lexus UX 300H. Smooth driving experience, quiet, efficient, comfortable, luxurious. Really the only con here, I would say, for the money is the packaging. There are much bigger and more practical cars in this space at this price point. But if you don't need a ton of space for people and things, and this is enough for your lifestyle, then it's just one of the best cars to drive for the money, at least as a hybrid or as a efficient proposition. Let's hit this entrance ramp. We'll go into sport mode again, see what this can do around the corner. It won't really rotate. I honestly think an F-Sport handling, maybe it does rotate a little bit. This, with an F-Sport badge, is kind of ridiculous. But that's okay. Still don't love this button configuration as much as the old cruise control stock, but it works. Once you get accustomed to where everything is, the muscle memory kicks in, and it's easy to use and operate. All the controls are clearly defined. We don't have any touch button haptic nonsense paired with a head-up display. It's just a real physical button. That's what we want from Lexus. No more gimmicks, please, and thank you. There is a little bit of wind noise here, but nothing terrible. It's so smooth to come down to a stop. Let's see what the sound system is like. Sounds great. Super clear, super crisp. Let's do some city driving here. We will pull into a neighborhood and do a little bit of stop and go. See how long we can eke out this car in EV mode. Honestly, it does still drive a lot like the old UX 200H. It's just a little bit quieter, a little bit faster. The powertrain tuning is just very, very nice, very smooth. And a little bit more efficient, which is always a welcome change in a hybrid like this. And I think that's pretty much all you guys need to know. Steering is surprisingly nice here for a vehicle in this class. It's just about the perfect weight. There's not a ton of feedback, but it feels like all the other Lexus steering. And that's probably the biggest compliment that I could pay to this UX, is that it doesn't feel like you're getting an entry-level model here. This feels as nice to drive as some really high-end Lexus products. The inputs, the materials, the driving feel, the kind of the connection that you get with the car, the plushness of the ride, and just the overall driving experience. You don't feel like you're being shorted here, even though you're only paying around 40 grand or so. Still pretty good acceleration off the line there. Yeah. Plenty of torque. Alright guys, I think we're going to park the Lexus UX 200H. We'll just park it right here. And that'll be a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Cool. Pretty predictable review of the UX 300H, but they've made some nice improvements here, and I figured it was worth revisiting this as it's one of our favorite hybrids to drive. On that drive, absolutely hammering it half the time, we averaged 28 miles to the gallon. Lovely. Oh yeah, that's the rear seat indicator. You open the rear doors, don't forget your child. Some of the tech in here is not up to date with what Toyota and Lexus have been doing in some of their other vehicles, but that's okay. It does everything well enough. There is nothing quite like the smoothness while accelerating in a Toyota hybrid product. It's just so smooth off the line. That first 15-20 miles an hour is just great. The engine sometimes doesn't even need to kick on. It's great. All right, thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.